The Legend of Zelda series is best known for its hero Link. But did you know that many Zelda games feature different Links? Of course, there are some exceptions to this, such as the Hero of Time appearing as the same Link across different Zelda titles, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and as the hero Shade or Spirit in Twilight Princess. And that brings us to our video. What happened to Link, the Hero of Time, after the events of Majora's Mask? How was he physically and mentally after such a demanding journey through both Hyrule and Termina? And how did he become the hero Shade in Twilight Princess? At the early age of just 10, and raised without a mother or father, it would be up to the Great Deku Tree to guide Link on his first steps to becoming the Hero of Time and eventually the hero Shade. With a sword and shield in hand, and his new fairy friend Navi, Link would help rid the Great Deku Tree of an evil curse. By destroying the monsters in the Deku Tree, it would be Link's real challenge of physical strength, but it would be the loss of a parent-like figure that would be a harsh reality for our hero, because even though the curse was broken, it would ultimately take the Great Guardian's life. And with a heavy heart of losing a loved one and having to leave the only place he has ever known, Link would come to rely on his dear friend Navi to keep him focused on the task of saving Hyrule. Shortly into Link's quest, he would meet Princess Zelda, who would not only be one of his closest allies, but also a huge part in the later years of his life. Link's journey through Hyrule would be a long and dangerous one, with many challenging tasks ahead. After arriving at Death Mountain and meeting the giant rocky race known as the Gorons, it would be clear to Link that making friends would not be easy, as outsiders in the many regions across Hyrule were almost never welcome. But the Gorons were in need of some help, as the person who had killed Link's only adult figure had laid his evil touches on the mountain by infesting their only food source with a creature known as Dodongos, and then sealing the entrance to Dodongo's cavern shut with a boulder. Luckily for Link, the Gorons were starving, and a starving Goron is often a desperate Goron. Link of course would succeed in saving the Goron's lovely rocky food source, and as a result claimed the Goron's ruby and the title of brother to the Gorons, which was a huge accolade considering the Gorons were known to be very close with each other and even somewhat aggressive to outsiders. But just like before, it wouldn't be long before the presence of Ganondorf would reveal itself yet again. Only this time it would be the Zora Guardian Jabu Jabu that would suffer. Jabu Jabu was cursed by Ganondorf, and this caused the peaceful and benevolent Guardian to start acting oddly, and even swallowing the Zora Princess, Ruto. Link however would once again rid a potential ally of the curse, thus saving Princess Ruto and forming a strong relationship with the Zora race. NANI? But just as everything seemed to be going so right for our hero, he would take a huge blow to his confidence and his mental capabilities, because Ganondorf was very smart and very cunning. He would soon reveal to Link that he had planned everything, the curses, the path Link would take, and even Link obtaining the Master Sword. For Ganondorf knew that Link would open the doors to the Temple of Time, and Ganondorf could sneak in and snatch the Triforce, thus completing his ultimate plan. His plan of conquering Hyrule and sealing Link away in the Sacred Realm for 7 long years. And to make matters much worse, when Link does return to the world, all of his friends are in trouble and he is forced to become a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Forest, fire, water, shadow, and spirit. This is Link's mission now, and only when every part of Hyrule has been cleansed of Ganondorf's evilness would Link finally be able to face the man who took everything from him. His parent figure, his home, his friends, and even the chance to be a child. The battle would be a long and grueling one, but Link would ultimately prevail, sealing the evil king away in the Sacred Realm and saving the world of Hyrule. Princess Zelda would allow Link to return to his younger self in order to regain some of his childhood that he had lost. And with the quest of saving Hyrule now officially complete, Navi, Link's friend and only family he has left, suddenly flies away, leaving our hero completely alone for the first time in his life, and solidifying the path of no return. Shortly after these events, Link would begin a secret and personal journey. A journey in search of his beloved and invaluable friend. After a long trek through the Lost Woods, Link would lose himself down a dark, steep abyss after having his precious item given to him by Princess Zelda stolen by an imp in a strange mask. And within a blink of an eye, Link would be turned into a Deku Scrub and thrown into a completely new world called Termina, with the goal of stopping the Skull Kid and saving the newly discovered world from a moon-crashing disaster. Entering Termina during pure chaos, right after defeating the most evil person Hyrule has ever seen, has to be the most daunting thing anyone could experience. And yet Link, who is only 10, is expected to complete this quest in only 3 short days. Link and his new companion Tattle would work tirelessly around the clock to ensure every single Terminian was taken care of, from missing people to dying ones, from cursed people to depressed ones. Link would be facing death at every corner of the land, but most of all, he was being trusted. A young boy was being trusted with the lives of every being in Termina. After just a few short hours in Clocktown, it was very clear that after Link's mission was done, he would never be the same again. Saving Termina was never meant to be Link's responsibility. He merely wanted to find his friend Navi and move on from Hyrule. He was angry and upset, alone and exhausted, and now he has no choice but to stop the Skull Kid. Not only to regain his precious item, but for his own soul, which is now imprisoned within his Deku form he has been transformed into. In the days leading up to his first real face-off with Majora, Link would learn so much about the people of Termina, that it became less about himself and more about saving this innocent population. After retrieving the Ocarina of Time back from Majora and resetting the time to the first day, Link would really begin to feel the powerful emotions trapped within Termina, known as the 5 stages of grief. Clocktown is the heart of Termina and represents the first stage of grief, denial. Nobody in the town wants to admit that the moon will fall on them. Nobody really wants to leave, and some even stay till the very end, even when it's clear the moon is going to kill them all. Southern Swamp represents the second stage of grief, anger. Deep within the swamp, the Deku race show extreme anger, rushing around trying to kill an innocent monkey for their missing princess, rather than remaining calm and figuring out a way to save her. The Snowy Mountains represent the third stage, bargaining. Rather than accepting the fate of their Goron hero Damani, the Gorons continue to believe he will come back to save them all. Damani himself desperately bargains for Link to find a way to bring him back to life, but there's nothing he can do to save him. The singer of Great Bay's most beloved band is number 4, depression. Lulu is depressed and hopeless after her eggs were stolen from her, and the rest of the Zora are depressed because their respected guitarist Mikau is dead, and they endlessly mourn for him. And finally, acceptance. Sharp comes to terms with how he mistreated his brother, and Link learns acceptance atop the Stone Tower Temple in Akana, which is symbolised by climbing the tower and acquiring the light arrows, which represents enlightenment. With the land of Akana mostly made up of the dead already, the only thing left for Link to conquer is himself. Link has finally learnt that he has been grieving all this time, grieving over being an orphan, grieving over his parents, his lost childhood, his friends, and more importantly, his closest companion Navi, who he never finds again. Navi represents Link's childlike innocence, and since he never finds her, Link is no longer a child, but is now an adult whether he wants to be or not. Tattle says this to Link in their last meeting. Well, both of us have gotten what we were after, so this is where you and I part ways, isn't it? Tattle was reunited with her brother, which is what she wanted, and everything Link has been through and accomplished, he finally got what he wanted. Acceptance. It's clear to Link now that his sole purpose was always about saving Hyrule, and the purpose of Majora's Mask was about accepting that it's over. Link's time is over. After such a painfully long journey, Link would take one last ride on his trusted horse Epona, deep within the Lost Woods, where he would remain for the rest of his life until his death many years later. Only Link's spirit would remain, ignited by the regret of his skills he never passed on due to the lack of a worthy successor, and so his spirit lingers on as the hero's shade, waiting for the one worthy of learning the Hero of Time's skills and secrets. But of course, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Link's long journey to becoming the hero Shade. So let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, consider subscribing for more Zelda content just like this. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.